So what does it mean to trade in your expectations for appreciation when it comes to relationships?
Anytime I've been frustrated in a relationship, anytime I feel peeved, anytime that I look back at the times where I had that experience, I had expectations. And when you have expectations, you're setting yourself up for failure. Because so many times we get in a relationship, we're dating the other person, right? Obviously, on some level. And hey, I do this, I do that. And it's as if we're keeping some kind of checklist. Well, if you're keeping a checklist, you're keeping a checklist, you can keep tabs of who's doing more and who's doing less so that that's some kind of leverage later on. Let me tell you, you're setting yourself up for a problem because that doesn't pan out well. So when you're in a relationship with someone, if you look at it from the perspective of appreciating what the person does bring to the table and expect nothing, trade in your expectations for appreciations, and it's amazing how you see the person different. The emotion around them is different. And I know there's part of me that said, yeah, but I do this and I do this and I do that, and then the other person's not valuing it or they're not doing their end or whatever it is.
It's like waiting for a monkey to perform as opposed to observing and enjoying the moment for what it is.
If you go into a relationship with expectations, you're just setting yourself up for failure because you're not in a relationship to get, you're in a relationship to give. And if you are in the relationship to get, that's not sustainable anyway because you are going to feel let down. You are going to have your expectations left unfulfilled. And especially for the masculine, remember the masculine needs nothing. The masculine is in relationship to serve and to give. And the more you serve and the more you contribute and the more you give and the more you can provide that safe space for the feminine, I can tell you as a man, I felt completely filled up. I felt like I received so much from knowing that I could provide the space for the woman in my life so that she feels safe. I feel more fulfilled than anything else that she could possibly ever do.
I think Corey and I have talked about this on podcasts before. I feel like safety is, as a female myself, that's like our number one need in life is safety. And so many of my decisions in my life were based on feeling safe. And some of those were really poor decisions. But I also agree with you. I'm so guilty of projecting my expectations in all of the relationships.
We all do it. I'm still working on it.
It took me so long to learn that lesson. I think I finally got it. So we'll see if that pans out in my future relationships. But yeah, super guilty. You're basically creating a fake relationship when you're expecting somebody to behave a certain way.
Well, you're not giving, you're trading. The moment you have an expectation, you're not giving anymore. Energetically, you're trading. It's like there's some kind of exchange, some monetary exchange that's happening. When that's not what relationships are about.
Yeah. At
least not intimate ones, and especially not the masculine and feminine one, right? Whether it's man, woman, or man, woman, right? Notice I didn't say male and female. It's masculine and feminine, and who's playing which role. And the role of the masculine is to give, provide the container, and expect nothing. So nowhere does expectations line up with showing up in your masculine. So give for the sake of giving, provide the space with nothing expected except an opportunity for you to show up in your masculine. And then another part that we could add to that is anytime someone's experiencing pain, especially pain in a relationship, oftentimes it's because they're focusing on themselves. And if you're focusing on yourself, chances are it's what you're not getting, right? So if you're in pain, maybe there's a red flag there for you to say, okay, I'm focusing on myself and I'm trading, or I have expectations. Trade in your expectations for appreciations. Find something about that person that you do appreciate and focus on that. And you'll be shocked how the energy and emotional charge around that really smooths out. And when you look at someone as though you appreciate them, it's amazing how they tend to show up different. Because people can feel that. Remember, women are emotional. They feel everything. Men, we're dead below the ears. The most sensitive man on the planet is dead below the ears in comparison to women. They feel everything. Men, we analyze everything, especially if you're in your masculine. Trade in the expectations for appreciations. See what happens.
I would say another example of trading in expectation for appreciation would be the way Corey has worked with both of my daughters. Gracie, whoever watches the podcast is probably familiar with Gracie. Corey did a 30-day challenge, a health chiropractic, network care, nutrition, working out, that sort of thing. And he expected a lot from her because he was her coach. And she showed up kind of grumpy, not ready to go, as balls to the wall as Corey expected. And, he pushed her. And finally she got to the point where she pushed back. And he's like, wow, okay, I need to meet her in the middle. I need to meet her where she's at. Instead of expecting her, dragging her up to the top right out of the gate, I need to go where she is. Instead of having these huge expectations that she was just going to grind and be at the top, he had to go meet her in the middle. He said that was a lesson that he learned. And then with my other daughter, he wanted to help her with her business aspirations, and he had this great idea that if she were to quit where she was and work for him, he could help her create a business plan and they could do all this. But then after speaking with her, he realized that she's just getting started where she is, and she has so much to learn from where she is, and she's happy with that, and she's learning a great deal. And he realized, wow, okay, now I realize I've got to meet her where she is. I'm here in other ways, maybe help her create a business plan for the future and that sort of thing. So with children, with kids, you're a parent also, I've noticed that with my kids, you can't expect everything from your children. There's that common phrase, you got to pick your battles, especially when you have teenagers. You'll learn that very soon. There's too many things that are going wrong, and you have to pick the most important thing to focus on one at a time and appreciate when the kid gets that one thing, and not have all your expectations up here for the best of grades, excelling at sports, having a job, picking the right relationships, getting along with the family members. You can't expect all that. Not getting speeding tickets or truancy at school, which was a situation I had with my daughter. But if you can pick out like some of the really important ones, and if they can get over a couple of obstacles and appreciate them for doing that, hey, they made straight A's at least. You're letting go of expectation, and you're going more into the area of appreciating them where they are and still encouraging them to meet the other expectations that you had originally, but maybe just one at a time. I mean, you have younger children, 10 and 6, I guess. Yeah. So I'm sure you understand with bedtime and discipline and school homework, you have to pick your battles sometimes. You can't expect everything all at once.
And
right?
whatever you focus on, you get more of. So I try to find something that's pertinent and needs to be addressed, but I'm also spending 99% of the time encouraging. Mm-hmm. So I'm focusing on what they're doing right. Putting out the fires where necessary, of course, handling whatever situation, but encouraging.
Yeah.
So
meeting them where they are instead of being a tiger dad.
So appreciating them and where they're at and bringing them up to the next level. So
yeah.